and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life. And through Kelly, we hope to inspire. Have Marquita Brown on the show today, and she is a singer who actually, you really started moving more into the professional world when?
Maybe
Not
like a year ago. Yeah,
Okay.
I decided I was going to really I'm going to do this professionally now.
Yeah, you're taking your passion and turning it and working to turn it into a career.
Yes.
Yeah. So the song that you sent over to me, and we'll probably put that at the beginning of the, we put like a clip of it at the beginning of the segment.
Absolutely.
Is regarding domestic violence. So tell us what inspired you. And you work at a shelter?
I work at a shelter. I will say that, and I'll talk about this in a minute, I don't generally, when I'm promoting my own work, I don't talk about the shelter that, I don't name it just because, I talk about a lot of things just very blatantly in my music, and I don't want it to affect anything negatively. But the song is called Lady in a Vamp, and the reason why I wrote it was because there was a young lady, and at the time we were around the same age, like 24, and she came into my office and she says to me, "Miss Marquita, do you think that I should start tricking again?" And I just looked at her and I was just like, "Oh my God, no!" And I didn't say this to her, and I had to be mindful of the way my face looked, but when somebody just asks you that, you don't know what to say. But I heard her out. And what ended up happening was I learned more about her because she had kids. I think she had like 3 kids. And she was talking about, this is all I feel like I can do right now, but I do want to go to school and I want to, do all these things with my life, and I still want to be able to support my kids. And a few things happened. I looked at her and I was like, number one, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not taking your kids home and raising them or providing for them. So I'm not going to judge how you decide you want to make money. And it started to kind of tap into things that I didn't deal with when I was younger. And it started me questioning, why do we just automatically call people names? If you can take time out to judge somebody, you can take that same time and energy to kind of get to know them better and understand where they're coming from. So we had a really good conversation, and she went out of my office and she was smiling, and I was happy.
Well, and it helps you to, you want to understand people and understand, we don't know how people get into the situations that they get into, but everybody has a story.
Absolutely.
And they normally don't start off in that story. Or if they do, it's because they literally grew up in that story.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have a good influence to start off in. Talking about women with domestic violence. Why is this a passion for you?
It's a passion for me because I think that most people in general, whether you be male, female, or however you decide you want to describe yourself, most of us have unfortunately been through domestic violence. And my friend, actually, I worked with at a department store, she worked at the shelter, and she was like, "Marquita, it'd be a good idea if you came and joined me there." I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, no, that's depressing, and I deal with things, but not necessarily on the face of it." And so it was really interesting that she thought I would be a good fit there, and I've been there for 11 years now. And people are like, "Isn't it like," they think it's like some kind of a Lifetime movie, and I'm like, no, there's a lot of things that go on there, and you see a lot of real life, like just every day, all day, even down to the littlest thing about 2 women fighting about a light being on. You just see a lot of things, and it just teaches you so much. And every day that I go to work, I take away something, because the ladies, the staff, everybody teaches me something new every day.
So what have you in general, because every person is going to be have a different story, but in general, what have you learned most about women? I
have learned that we, as women, number one, we can be very cruel to one another.
Yes.
That was a hard lesson for me to learn, because like I said, everybody thinks a domestic violence shelter is a Lifetime movie, and there's going to be like kumbaya. No, we can be very, very hard on each other, even harder than men sometimes are on us, and that bothers me because, like in that song, Lady in a Vamp, a lot of women will call each other names when they think that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing and to fit into the world or what have you. And we are just really hard on each other. but at the same time, we can be just as loving towards one another, because if a man comes in and says those things, says we're going to protect each other.
Right.
Okay? That's
yeah,
the point.
that's true.
And it's such a weird thing. It's kind of like there's a sisterhood, but there is also a very, very, really bad tear down to that also.
Right. Well, and yeah, sometimes we can be our worst enemies with each other.
Yeah.
And it's because we're always like self-reflecting. We're always like, you know, I don't want to be that person, and I'm not that person. And even if I used to be that person, I'm not that person now. And then the other thing that sets in is jealousy.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And she gets this because she has this, and yeah, it's
Yep.
so people that don't fit into the mold, what do you tell them?
I tell them, because I know that I don't fit into the mold. You know, I'm a single parent, and I know that there's just a lot of things about entering into the entertainment industry in general when you're not starting out when you're 15, and when you have a child and you don't have necessarily the sound that people think that you should sound like because of the way that you look. I just recommend people just do you. And I grew up with a lot of artists that were just really, really authentic, and that's what I just remember. You know, I write my music and I make it in a way that just fits me, and not necessarily just to please other people.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel comfortable. You feel proud of yourself at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like, I did that, and I love it because it sounds like me.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And nobody can take that away from you.
Yeah.
You did that. What is some advice that you would give to a new artist? So you've, in the last year, you know, you're turning your passion into a career. What is the most valuable thing that you've learned this past year?
The most valuable thing I've learned is definitely that you can always learn more.
Yes, you never.
can always learn more.
Yes.
You can always get better.
And when you think you know, you don't know.
You really don't. And that is a thing that children need to learn, okay?
Yes.
Like young people, if you are younger than 25, you automatically think you know everything. You don't, okay? You can always learn every day. And people, you know, when you're an artist, people are going to say things about you that you don't like, but you can take the criticism and do whatever you want to with it. But I suggest that you turn it into fuel for yourself in the future, because not everybody's gonna like you, and not everybody's going to, you know, think that you're the most wonderful songwriter in the world, and that's okay. You take it and you're like, that's their opinion, and if it's constructive, you can use it. If it's not, you can ignore it.
Right. There was a lady that my husband and I were listening to recently, and she I think she does distribution for indie films. Her name was Linda. But she was talking about films, and she was talking about that there's an audience for everything. You just have to find your audience, and you have to find out who your audience is. Even if it's not the best film in the world, you can still find an audience for that.
Call it classic.
Yeah, right? Yes. Yeah, and as I grow in age, the thing that I learned the most is that I don't know anything. And once I think I got it figured out, I have nothing figured out. So that's my motto. No. I know enough, but I definitely don't know. It always changes. Like when I think I know something, then I realize I don't know anything. Where do people find you and follow your music?
On Instagram, I am Marquita, MARQUITA_music. On SoundCloud, I'm Marquita-Brown. Yeah, I have to get this whole, like, you know, continuous thing in marketing going on. But
marketing is tough.
It is when you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
And I was a major in marketing when I was in college. That's the funny part. I can do it for other people, just not me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can go on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. It's called The Baptist 2012, actually, is the name of, YouTube.com/The Baptist 2012.
Talking about that, less than a minute, how religion has affected what you do.
Okay, so religion has had a really, really big impact on it, because when I moved to Georgia, I didn't realize how religious this place was, and that's one of the reasons why I don't say the name of where I work, because I realize that we have a lot of religious board members, a lot of very conservative people on our board, and I don't want to say something like, you know, presenting a song called Lady in a Vamp, and it negatively affect how our agency is perceived and the people that work there. So if they happen to see me and know I work there, that's fine. But yeah, religion played a big part in how I try to, it taught me to judge people when I was younger, and it's a mindset I'm trying to get out of now.
Yeah. I think there, you know, in all things, things can be used in a harmful way, and things can be used in a good way. And you know when you're in a good thing, whether it be religion or whatever it be, because of the feeling that comes from that. And yeah, I agree. It can be used in a bad way, and it can be used to control, and then it can be used to uplift. So
yes, absolutely.
Thank you guys. We hope this segment educated and inspired you.